Now let's talk about some of the concepts regarding building out our topology for the model that we're building. So working with these military vehicles, you can see that we have a lot of these flat panel, or a lot of these flat planes rather, cutting across other flat planes. So it can be a little bit daunting if you're not used to building something that has all these sort of interlocking pieces, especially when you're thinking about like a polygon model where we've got detail that comes in and then it is sort of connected to points, and that detail is used, and so everything is sort of almost in a grid pattern. Here we've got to redraw a lot of this topology so that it matches up. For instance, if we take a look at this RAM, you can see that we have these sort of little flat pieces that are cut across here. Okay, but we don't have those actually connecting anywhere. It's sort of right in the middle of these flat faces, so we just need to make sure that we add resolution there. So let's take a look at some of these particular areas. So we'll start with the RAM. And if you're really familiar with polygon modeling and box modeling, you may want to go ahead and skip ahead, just depending on what your comfort level is. This is going to be fairly simple, though, just some things to think about. But so the main shape that that front RAM is going to be sort of a cube. So we'll just bring in a cube here, and let's just scale it into position. Now the front of it is sort of tapered, so we can select that face and just kind of scale it down, get it in the right shape there. Now we need to add the resolution to be able to get those divisions in here. So think about this as a whole first. So we need to add some divisions. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Insert Edge Loop tool with multiple edge loops and use 4 on that. And just pop those in. Now the key is we want to create that piece that's cut across, and so instead of just having this low resolution piece, we need to have at least an edge right on the end here and right on the other end. Okay, so we'll go back in with our Insert Edge Loop tool, turn off multiple edge loops, and just drop in some edges there. We can do the same thing here. Now there are a couple of ways that we can really easily create that cut across. One way would be to delete those edges and then take the 2 corresponding edges on the side and just do a bridge between them. Okay, and then we just want to double click on this open face here and fill that in using fill hole. Okay, that's just a few clicks. We can also do it really easily by just selecting this edge and deleting it. And then we can use either the split polygon tool or the interactive split tool, whichever you like. I kind of like the split polygon tool myself, so I go ahead and just connect it from this back edge to this back edge, and it gives you the exact same result. So that gives you that cut across, and then if you want to extrude that in, you can. You can do the same thing up here where we've got that cut along the back. All right, so we just need to remember that when we're working with our polygons here, we have a lot of flexibility in how we actually connect those and work that topology out. Okay, now we have triangles here, so that's something to think about. If it's something where an application where we're using it in film or something going to be smooth and we want to have all quads, that's something to think about where you have to go in and start to make sure that it works in a smooth workflow. If you're using something where it's strictly going to be polygons, maybe you can use triangles. So it all depends on the particular application that you're using, not the application as far as the software, but what you're using it for and in what context, what pipeline you're using it for. So just keep that in mind. Now for this piece up at the top, we've got this sort of piece that has these kind of stair-step patterns here. So we can bring in another cube, and let's go ahead and bring this up and just real quickly get that kind of into a rough position here. We can add divisions. Let's add one in the middle, and then let's add actually a couple along the depth. So we got something like that, and we can take both of these sides and push them back a little bit. And now some of the ways that we can get that result that we saw would be to take these faces here and go ahead and just extrude them up. So just extrude straight up. So we have this thickness back here, but we want to have it so that it's tapered back down. So in that case, we could come back in and actually take our points, and holding down the V key, we could snap those down. Okay, or we could just move them down. You can see that we've got these two here. And we could go ahead and looking at it from the side view, move that down. Okay, and then we want to kind of merge those together. So take those points and merge all the way around. All right. So that gives you that sort of a look. We could also come in here with, again, our split polygon tool. And if we wanted to do the same sort of thing, just draw this up. Select this this point rather, and move it up. Okay. And I want to go ahead and snap those down too, and give you something like that. So a number of different options to be able to do this. Now, a lot of these parts of this model are not necessarily going to correspond with a strict sort of quad or even triangle. You may have to come in and actually draw these out with your Create Polygon tool and then add in the resolution after. So you could have ingons that you're using to create these, and then you just draw in the lines after to make that topology. You don't have to keep those lines in there if you want to just get the shape built out first and then go back and connect it logically. And then you can kind of work your way around connecting everything, reconnecting, redrawing it as needed. All right, just a couple of quick tips on working with topology, building things out using polygons with penetrating planes coming in and kind of working those together. So the next thing that we want to look at is creating separate panels. So once we've got the main shape of our model built, we want to maybe break that apart into separate panels. What do we need to think about when we do that? So we'll go ahead and do that next.